Welcome to Visualize, the podcast where collaboration fuels change. I'm your host, Chris Baker, and each week we'll explore incredible connections between nonprofits, businesses, and the community. This is a space where we highlight inspiring partnerships, uncover strategies for creating meaningful impact, and share stories that show how working together can make all the difference. Whether you're a nonprofit leader, a business owner, or someone just passionate about building connections, this podcast is for you. So let's talk a little bit more about some of the collaboration opportunities that you've had, either working with other nonprofits or for-profits that have made major organization really what it is today.
We have so many. Number one, our largest partner is the school district of Palm Beach County. We do have direct access to their database so that we have the ability to monitor kids on a daily basis. So I could look right now to see if one of our students is in class, if they have any behavior issues. So it helps us monitor the kids. But we partner with lots of other nonprofits. We partner with, the Boys and Girls Club to recruit kids. Mm-hmm. We partner with the Bound for College program where they tutor kids after school. And so a lot of times when we do college tours, their kids will come on our tours. And then a lot of times our kids participate in their events because we know that we're just one piece of the puzzle. And we know through partnerships, we can provide the kids with more services. And then we have tremendous corporate partners. Florida Crystals underwrites most of our kids that live in the Glades region because Florida Crystals is growing all the sugarcane out in the Belle Glade and Pahokee area. So that's their way of giving back to the community, is to sponsor kids to come into our program. And so we pick up those kids as early as 6th grade. And then, as I mentioned before, we have partners like FPL where they'll underwrite kids in certain zip codes that want to study STEM. And so they'll cover the scholarship piece. So the partners really range all across the board. And we're all about partnership because we know we can't do this alone.
No, and we understand that completely. Like, honestly, when you have a good partnership, that is when you guys can actually expand and you can explore new opportunities. You can reach more people. You can help more people. That's one of the reasons why that we love doing this podcast, is because collaboration is so key to really moving you forward.
Our biggest partner really is the state of Florida.
Okay.
We receive dollar for dollar matching on our Florida prepaid scholarships through the Florida Prepaid Foundation. So it's a great public-private partnership. So I can buy a $8,000 scholarship for $4,000. And so I can send a student to school for $4,000 for 2 years. So that partnership is key. So we just finished our purchases for the year. This year, we bought over $1 million in scholarships that got matched million to million. So we purchased $2 million in scholarships for next year's class.
How many students are you able to help with that much money?
Every year we bring in over 200 new students. So we're currently supporting over 1,200 kids, 700 in high school, and about 675 in middle and high school.
And in the college?
700 in college right now that we're continuing to support.
Those numbers are impressive. Because, this is all just in Palm Beach,
Just
correct?
in Palm Beach County.
And you're changing these individuals' lives that were potentially initially not going to go to college at all. Who knows which route they were headed in, to somewhere where, like you said, the one person that you tutored, she became a doctor. Now she's saving lives. That's, these are the incredible differences that your organization is making in our community right here.
And the need is tremendous. We want to serve at 1%
Okay.
of low-income students in Palm Beach County. We're not there yet.
Still not.
So even at our size, we're not even serving 1%. So the need is there. But we know that when we bring in a student, we don't cherry pick our kids. We're bringing in kids very early that often get overlooked or slide through the system. So many of them may only have between a 2.0 and a 2.5 GPA, but we have to get them to a 3.0 so they can get into college. So that's why we need that long-term mentoring and long-term support. But, our numbers speak for themselves. With 98% of our kids graduating high school, then 96 enroll in college. 74% are earning a post-secondary credential, and that's compared to their peer group of only 29%. So we know it's that long-term support that's really moving the needle.
Yeah.
It has to be long-term.
No, and honestly, having long-term, because honestly, it's having somebody to rely on, somebody to trust, especially if you don't know who you're going to turn to for that trust. So
Right.
how far are you from that 1%? What would it take you to get to that 1%?
We would need to probably increase our funding another $1.5 million to $2 million a year. So,
Okay.
this year we'll probably hit right around $5 million. So we need to get to that $6 million mark to really be serving more kids.
Well, there's a shout out to everyone. If you want to help change our community, this is an opportunity to, showcase and make a change. That's amazing.
Absolutely. When you think about all the new jobs too, moving to Florida, right? We've got to have an educated workforce.
Yes.
We can't fulfill a lot of the tech jobs right now. So it's our responsibility to make sure that we set these kids up for success so that when you and I retire one day, these kids can take care of us.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think that's a far off goal to actually get you to that 1%. If you're only at about $1 million, $1.5 million away from getting to that 1%, yeah, I think that's a beautiful goal. I won't get you to 2.
We'll get there.
Then you'll get to 2.
That's right.
Double that. Because honestly, every little small change, it's going to trickle not just within the individual you're helping, but their peers.
And their families. We've had parents go back to college because of what we did for their kids. So when you think about that, correct. And not only that, but when we take a first-gen student, we educate them. Think about, the generations that follow them.
Exactly.
It's just a ripple effect.
It's a huge ripple effect, and it's contagious.
It is.
So yeah, like you mentioned family, I thought peers, but it's coming from both sides.
Right.
Like you're changing the family structure and how they view education, how they view the world and everything around them. And their peers are looking like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go and do this, get in this car. Maybe I shouldn't go do this. Look at, this individual that made a huge change in his life and now is successful, have family, have kids. And, it's making them think. It's changing their view patterns. And like you said, if you get to 1%, now you're probably affected actually closer to 5 to 10% of that population, because they're seeing that 1% make that huge change. And that's exponential. And then from there, if even those other people that are like not fully affected, but they're semi-affected, and it goes out and out. Now, this is the change that we want to see in the world. And
it is.
We have to start small. Yeah.
One of the new initiatives that we're working on that I'm really excited about is our mail initiative. We've worked so hard over the last century to empower women.
Okay.
But what have we done to our boys? And I'm very concerned that a lot of boys are not completing high school and they're dropping out. And then we wonder why we have crime and drug issues on our streets. And so we know right now that 60% of our kids are females. Boys typically don't bring our application home to mom to get it filled out, but we know that it's our responsibility to really help lift young men, particularly young men of color. And so that is a new initiative that we're working on, is to try to level the playing field for both males and females. And so one of the new initiatives we're working on is male recruitment, targeting certain zip codes and neighborhoods to really lift those kids out of poverty.
So one of the other sides of your program is the mentors. So how do you recruit some of the mentors if, obviously if they come back full circle, that's great. That's just another pool to work as a mentor. But if they're not coming from there, how do you get more people? And I'm guessing most of them are set up male to male and female to female.
Correct.
So you also need a stronger male pool of mentors to help the male mentors as you get more of them in.
Mentor recruitment is always a challenge.
Okay.
And most of our mentors come by word of mouth.
Okay.
Although we do, again, partner with different groups to recruit mentors, as well as corporate sponsors to recruit employees from their workforce. But we definitely need male mentors. But, mentoring is really easy. It's 30 minutes a week. Anybody can do it.
Okay.
Now, it used to be before COVID, you had to go into the school to meet with a student during lunchtime. But we developed an app with a FaceTime-like feature, so you could sit at your desk during your lunch break and mentor a student, or do it in the evening. Most of our mentors do a hybrid, where maybe they go and meet the student once a month at their school during their lunchtime and the rest, through an online platform. But we have mentors out of state. We have mentors that live over on the coast, but they mentor kids out in Belglade and Pahokee. So mentoring, anybody can mentor.
Sure.
I think the biggest challenge is getting people to understand that mentoring isn't something to be afraid of. It's easy. Anybody can do it because you're just sharing yourself.
You're just being authentic with somebody so that they have somebody to lean on.
Correct.
Yeah. So I actually am very intrigued. You said something about a FaceTime app that you created. How was that collaboration? How was that built?
That was actually built through our state office.
Okay.
So Take Stock in Children is a statewide organization where there is a program covering every county in the state of Florida, although we are all operated independently. We're our own 501c3 in Palm Beach County.
Okay.
And some Take Stock programs might be under education foundations or state colleges. So our state office did develop that, so we have access to that platform.
That's amazing. So you are getting a support from the state on multiple levels to make sure that these kids have that mentor for wherever they need.
Right.
That's awesome. Okay, so how do people get involved? How can they become a mentor? How do they contact the organization and, make a difference?
So they can actually visit our website, which is takestockpalmbeach.org, or they can call 561-683-1704. We're on all the social platforms as well. I would invite them to, reach out, attend an orientation, learn more about us, go through the process of becoming a mentor, determine which student is right for them, because we'll do a matching process where you can say, I might like a student that, is more into the arts, and we'll find a student that's focused more on the arts or sports or whatever it is. And so we do try to find similar interest. And we know that those first couple meetings are going to be awkward, both for the mentor and the student, because it's hard to build a relationship with somebody you don't know.
Right.
And so we'll also guide mentors through that. We've got a toolkit to give mentors to support them. We have lots of ongoing training and resources. And of course, our team is always there to answer the phone, when mentors struggle or have questions. So just reach out and we can walk anybody through the process.
All right. So as we wrap up, I love to ask this question. And I think you're going to have a really good answer for this one. So what is the legacy that you personally want to leave for future generations?
Great question. And I actually thought about that about 5 to 10 years ago. And I said, what do I want Take Stock to look like when Nancy's no longer there? And so I'm really proud that 3 years ago, we started an endowment. We started with $100,000. And this year we've gotten up to $900,000 over the last few years. And what that endowment will do is that long after I leave, if there's ever a fundraising issue or anything like that, that endowment will cover scholarships for new kids that we can pull down the funds to buy scholarships through Florida Prepaid with those matching dollars. And it's something that I worked very closely with our board to develop. We had to develop, investment policy statements. We had to find someone to house our endowment. And then fundraising for an endowment isn't easy. A lot of people don't want to fund endowments, but I think that it was really important to me that I left my mark on Take Stock.
Oh, I love that. You're leaving it for future generations, no matter when you have to step down yeah, I love that. That's amazing.
That, and I think that I've built something really unique at Take Stock. My team, I don't want to call them a staff because we are a true team.
Oh, we're the same way. I believe it's a team.
They are phenomenal. And we have, when anybody comes to interview at Take Stock, I say we're a family. And they're like, yeah, sure. Everybody says that. But then if anyone does leave, they say, no, we really are a family here. We care deeply about one another. We also challenge people quite a bit. I'm big on personal and professional development, and I expect my team to do that as well. And through that, we've become very, very tight. And at any given time, I know that if a student reaches out in the middle of the night, the team is there for them. So I'm really proud of that too.
I am so grateful that you stepped into the executive director 15 years ago. It's amazing to hear about this endowment that you have created, because that's going to leave a longer legacy, which is going to help more and more students become more just a better community in general. So,
and like I said in the beginning, I don't have a job. This is truly just a labor of love for me.
Yeah, and I can see it, but you're also, you're treating it like a business, and you understand.
Well, it is a business, yes.
Correct. But you're also making sure that it's lasting longer.
Right.
Which is beautiful.
Right.
Nancy, thank you so much for being on the show today. Words of inspiration, and, thank you so much. It kind of shocked a little bit of me, of what I had to go through, but I'm so grateful that people have mentors here in Palm Beach County. And if you would like to get involved, please reach out, and hopefully you can become the next mentor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Visualize. We hope that the inspiration and practical insights can help you foster stronger connections and meaningful change. Don't forget to subscribe, share the episode, and leave us a review. To learn more about Visuals by Momo and how we support collaboration and storytelling, visit visualsbymomo.com. A huge thank you to everyone out there listening. Until next time, remember, collaboration fuels change, and your connections can inspire the world.